What do you get when you cross a fishing trip between two buddies with a statewide manhunt for a notorious murderer? You get the first American film noir directed by a woman, and you can watch it for free on the new free streaming service Momitu. From Ida Lupino and RKO, this is 1953's The Hitch-Hiker. I'm Harry Marks. You can find me on TikTok at Lobby Intros as the host of the classic film history channel Let's All Go to the Lobby. The Hitch-Hiker stars Edmund O'Brien and Frank Lovejoy as two friends on their way to Mexico for a fishing trip when they pick up a man named Emmett Myers. But Myers isn't just any hitchhiker. He's a wanted criminal who forces the two men to take him across the border. What ensues is a tense thriller that leaves the viewer wondering if the two unwitting accomplices will make it out alive. The film was written by Lupino, along with her ex-husband, film and TV producer Collier Young. Screenwriter Daniel Mainwaring wrote the story on which The Hitch-Hiker was based, but had been blacklisted during Hollywood's Red Scare and was unable to receive credit for his work on the film. His pseudonym of Jeffrey Holmes was used instead. Mainwaring would go on to pen the sci-fi classic Invasion of the Body Snatchers a few years later. But The Hitch-Hiker wasn't conjured from the minds of Lupino, Young, or Mainwaring. It was based on the very real story of Billy Cook, an actual hitchhiker who had been caught in Mexico after committing a violent crime and taking two men hostage. He forced them to drive him over the border, where he was caught and extradited back to the U.S. It was Lupino who secured releases from both hostages, as well as Cook himself, so she could incorporate specific details into the film. Her fictional retelling of an actual case was something of a prototype for another true crime thriller that would arrive over a decade later, Richard Brooks's adaptation of Truman Capote's nonfiction novel In Cold Blood. The Hitch-Hiker was a departure for Lupino, who had already directed 4 dramas after a successful career primarily as an actress. Working with a modest budget of roughly $200,000, she managed to craft a tightly wound film noir that relied on crisp dialogue and skilled performances to keep the audience wondering what would happen next. And so here it is, starring Edmund O'Brien, Frank Lovejoy, and William Talman, directed by Ida Lupino from RKO Pictures in 1953, this is The Hitch-Hiker, now playing for free on Momitu.